Today I am going to work on restoring a garden bed. This garden bed used to be my most beautiful cottage garden until a walnut tree fell. You can still see the stump of it over there. It fell right through, breaking that trellis. It fell right into this garden, and it just missed the potting shed. I was really lucky that it didn't get any of the fence, except for that piece of trellis right there. So for about a year, I didn't do anything in this garden. It was just too much of a mess. The weeds grew up, the creeping Charlie took over, and I'm just now getting back to fixing it. So my first job has been to yank out as many weeds as I can. I'm redigging the bed. I'm going to put in a lot of plants. And right here, garden paths. Garden paths are so important. This is a path that I actually laid sod on, and then the weeds took over, the clover, the creeping Charlie, the crabgrass, and so I've given up. I am digging all this stuff out, and I'm going to fill it with sand, which I get off my creek bank, and then I'll put some pebbles down and maybe some stepping stones, and right here, now in this section, there are actually 3 garden beds. This side is mostly shade, and it really survived pretty well, so I'm not going to do much over here. But this is the side that really is messed up. And you can see that blended in with the violets and the roses and the plants are a lot of grasses and weeds, and I have to get all of those up. I've already done, I don't know, countless piles of weeds right here. I've hauled most of them off. And I'm working on this side because I've got a little shade over here. I've got sedum in here, and I've got snow on the mountain, and I've got some white ground roses that are just struggling because of all the weeds down here in the bottom. So right now I'm clearing them out. There's a nice little cleared area right there, and when I'm finished I'm going to have a lot of bare spaces, so I might just have to do a little bit of redecorating in this garden, kind of like moving the furniture in your house. You can dig up the plants that you've got, you can split them, and you can move them around, and that's probably what I'm going to do with a lot of these plants. I'll have to buy a lot too, and I'll probably drop some annual seeds in here, but this is where I'm at right now. Okay, excellent. I've got my path dug. Now all I need are several wheelbarrows full of sand, and I'll be able to pull up those measuring sticks. It's a really nice wide path. Looks like I've got more help. Little adolescent duckies. Okay, I've cleaned out my garden beds, and now I've got a lot of space to fill in. And because this is a cottage garden, it's going to be jam-packed with flowers. So I have got a wonderful selection here. I've got about 46 pots of plants, and these only cost me less than $130. And that is because I bought every one of these on discount. If you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, they're generally going to be racks and racks of plants that they've marked way down because maybe they've bloomed already. Oh, maybe they're getting a little bit yellow on the bottom and they don't look like they're doing so well. Maybe they're root bound. It could be a variety, or maybe they just got too many plants in. Look at these coneflowers. Absolutely nothing wrong with these coneflowers at all, but they were only $3 a pot. They probably got too many. Now, if you're buying a plant full price, of course you want to get the healthiest plant you can find, but when you're getting, say, this lavender here, which doesn't look so great in some of the pots, as you can see, but for $3 a pot, I'm willing to give this lavender a shot. If I put it in the right location and give it nice drainage and give it some good the kind of soil that it likes. Who knows? I might get lucky with my lavender this year. Everything here is a perennial, which means it should come back year after year if I take good care of it. With the exception of these, which are annuals, but they should bloom and bloom and bloom all summer long. I'm going to put them toward the front because they don't get that tall. And these were $3 a pot. So if you pay attention and you go to the garden center and you really look around, you could get some really good deals and fill your garden to the very brim. Now the fun part is I get to figure out where I'm going to put all of these. Now I get to be an artist. So finally, this garden restoration is complete, and we're peeking over the fence to see what's in there, and it looks pretty promising. So starting at the front gate, where I've laid a little half circle of stone where once there was weed and wild grass. This makes it a little more inviting. And when you open a gate, a garden gate, you expect to find something very special. And indeed, here we have more stone, and I think something pretty special. Here's the shady side of the garden, which didn't require a lot of work because it didn't get that much damage when that tree fell. But I did clean it out, planted a few extra things, and put my favorite angel in the middle of this garden. Had her for about 20 years and she's looking really great. Nice vintage chips all over her body. This is a new pathway. We have a lot of stones in Hopalong Hollow scaping because we get them easily along our creek bank, and cedar as well. I love a lot of paths. Paths are garden bones and really important elements when you're doing a garden. This dry creek takes unwanted water away from the house and brings it right into this bed. Now the other side is the side I really had to work on. So let's walk over there, and along the way take a look at a few lovely things like this beautiful little obedience plant, which to me is very much like a miniature foxglove and a lot easier to care for. Look at those little perfect pyramid tops, which turn into tiny little buds and beautiful little bell-like flowers. A perennial which should get about 36 inches tall. We have black-eyed Susans and coneflowers, sedum, lemon balm, snow on the mountain, hostas in this side. The walkway's been cleared of most of the weeds, but they're pretty persistent, and so of course they're popping up again. I wish flowers were that persistent. This is a little sparse right now because a lot of these plantings are brand new, and I really pretty much had to start over in this garden, with a few exceptions like the Baptisia, the Rose of Sharon, the daylilies, and that ground cover rose, which isn't blooming at the moment. But you walk along the new path. That's wide enough for two people to walk down this little path, past this lovely little perennial bed here, leading to the little greenhouse. That is a sweet little greenhouse. Behind that, some purple sage filled with these coneflowers, phlox, more coneflowers, and back there in the corner are 5 new foxgloves that haven't bloomed yet. Maybe at the end of August we'll have foxgloves. Everything looks very lovely. But it will look a lot nicer next year when it absolutely fills in and turns this garden into a lush, wild and crazy cottage garden. And of course we've got stones everywhere, as I said. Stone walls are absolutely a must in Hopalong Hollow scaping, and easy to build. Put your large stones on the bottom and stagger each layer one on top of the other like a puzzle. This one drifts down, 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 down to one stone. Nice little row of stones here on the bottom where the Rose of Sharon grows, and we hope the foxgloves do too. So this garden restoration, I'd say, was pretty much a success. And next year it will be absolutely lush. So it was a lot of work and well worth the effort. Now, if we could just keep those pesky weeds at bay. See, there's already a little creeping Charlie coming up. I'll take care of that. That's where the expression nip it in the bud comes from. So enjoy your own garden restoration. Until then, see you next time in Hopalong Hollow.